everybody, this is Janae Wright here in Janae's kitchen on JOHNàETV, and today I am making one of my favorite dishes, macaroni and cheese. It is going down, y'all make sure you guys stay tuned. So the first thing you want to do is take out all your ingredients. I like to have all my ingredients out on the counter. Excuse the mess, I got a lot of stuff going on, honey. It's Sunday dinner, you know the football team is playing. Alright, so now we have sea salt. You want to have sea salt. You want to have garlic salt. You want to have black pepper. You want to have Creole seasoning. Listen, y'all gonna see that this is like the key to this ingredient. You want to have Lawry's seasoning salt. You want to have complete seasoning, and I like to throw a little oregano in there. Of course, you need your well, I like to use my aluminum pan when I make macaroni and cheese. I'm not gonna be messing up my pan, you know, my good pans. And then you want to have pasta. I like to use the elbow pasta unless I'm making seafood macaroni and cheese. I will use the panini. Over here you want to have your pot. Of course you have to boil your noodles. I have it boiling right there. You want a stick of butter, and sour cream, and of course your favorite different type of cheeses. It depends on what type of cheese you want. I got different type of cheeses. I have more cheeses, but you know, just so you can get the understanding. And I think one more thing, you need vegetable oil. So I have some vegetable oil here. Vegetable oil, any type of vegetable oil is good. But yeah, that's all the ingredients. Okay, so now that I got you a little closer, I got my water boiling right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the oil. The reason why I put oil in my water is because you don't want the noodles to stick together while they're boiling. It's nothing like that should be good. It's nothing like your noodles sticking to the bottom of the pan when you're trying to scoop them out and drain them. Like, it gets me. So we're gonna let the oil simmer in there. You hear that? That means it's working. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna season my water, because the reason why I season my water, because when you put the noodles in there, you just don't, you want your macaroni and cheese to be flavorful. Not only the macaroni and cheese, but the actual noodles. You want them to have flavor. So I'm gonna put a little salt in there. Alright. After I put a little salt, I'm gonna put a little garlic salt. Just a little bit, not too much. You don't want your water to look like pot liquor. Then you want to put, I'm not gonna put pepper in here. I'll put a little Creole seasoning in there. I'll put a little Lawry's seasoning salt in there. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. You don't want to drown your water with too much flavor. Did I put complete seasoning? I put a little complete seasoning. Alright? And that should be good. And you want it to come up to a boil. Do not put your noodles in unless it comes up to a boil. Alright, so now that it came up to a boil, we're going to go ahead and put the noodles in there, okay? So, it depends on your serving size, depending on how much noodles you should put in there. I'm making a whole pan, so, let's see. I'm going to, I think that should be good. So after you put that in, every time you put your noodles in, you want to give it like a nice little stir while it's in there. And stir it so it won't stick to the bottom. Let that oil get in between all the noodles. Alright? And I like to close the lid. You know, if you close the lid, all the heat and the moisture, you know, be trapped inside in the pan, and it will cook faster. Go ahead and put the lid on there, and I'm just gonna set that. I can find my lid. Alright, so find the lid. Rinse it off. I'm gonna put the lid on top, and I'm gonna let let that boil for a good 15-20 minutes. And you know, I'm gonna check on the noodles and make sure they're soft and everything. The stove is actually on high. When you see your noodles have been in there for a good 10-15 minutes, kind of bring the stove down because you don't want to burn the noodles, okay? Alright, you guys, so the noodles are coming to a boil, and they should look a little bit like this. When you see they're getting kind of shiny and they're kind of looking a little rubbery, that means they're softening up and they're getting a little loose. I'm just going to let this sit in here for it's been about like 15 minutes, so probably like 5-6 more minutes. Let it sit. Stir it every now and then so make sure nothing is clumping together. Let that sit, and it should be good. Put the lid on. Okay, guys, so my noodles are done. As you can see, they're done, and I am ready to strain them. So we're going to switch the camera that way. And I got my strainer. So I'm going to go ahead and strain these noodles. Right? You see how everything, the noodles was so loose? Nothing got stuck to the pot. I ain't got to scrape. I ain't got to do nothing. It was the oil. The oil out of them. What I'm going to go ahead and do is get my cheese sauce ready. I know you guys like, what do you mean cheese sauce? Everybody makes their macaroni and cheese different, but I like to do a cheese sauce. But the old folks would say I'm making the roux. The roux. So I'm going to put some water in here. And what I'm doing is a two-pot method. And the two-pot method is basically, so as I melt the cheese, making the cheese sauce, the cheese is not going to burn, because if you put cheese directly to the stove of the eye or on direct contact, you can burn your cheese. But because I'm putting the pot inside of a pot with water, it's just going to softly melt without burning the cheese, okay? I got my pot right here, and what I'm gonna do, I turn my stove on. I would say put it around like 5 or so, and I got my other pot. I'm gonna put that pot on top so it could catch the boil, right? So what I didn't tell you guys is that you also gonna need some milk, and you also are gonna need 2 eggs, okay? Just putting that out there. So what you're gonna do is pour some milk in here. I'm just gonna put like probably like a cup full of milk. Not too much, because you don't want the cheese sauce to be too liquidy. Just make sure you have an even consistency, basically. So I have some mild cheddar cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and open that, and I'm gonna put some mild cheddar cheese in there. And listen, you can put a lot of cheese in there because all it's going to do is melt. Okay? Put some mild cheddar. Put some extra cheddar. Alright? Extra cheddar in there. And I'm gonna put some Kobe Jack and mozzarella. And you guys, I'm gonna tell you this trick about this Kobe Jack. All right. I'm gonna drop some cheese on the eye. All right, and just let that melt. All right, so I also went to the deli and I got some fresh Kobe Jack cheese cut out, sliced. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a slice of Kobe Jack cheese in there. And let me tell you something about Kobe Jack. Kobe Jack cheese has this buttery, salty, oily. When it melts into like a like a butter cheese salt, and it's so good for your macaroni and cheese. I know it sounds so unhealthy, but listen, I'm gonna throw a little bit of that in there because you don't want no macaroni and cheese with no flavor. You know what I'm saying? You want macaroni. You want you want all the oils and butters and juices when you're making macaroni and cheese. Okay? It's no such thing as healthy macaroni and cheese. I'm gonna throw an extra. Well, I'm just gonna put half actually, just a little bit. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the rest at the end. All right. So now that the noodles are drained, while they still warm, you don't want them to sit too much because you want that butter to melt inside. So what I'm gonna do is get our macaroni in this pan. All right. So you see all that steam? I'm gonna chop it up a little bit, make sure everything is all up in there. Just perfect, right? Just perfect. Just the right amount of noodles. So I got 2 eggs, and when I'm making a serving size like this, I'm just gonna put a little about 2 eggs, 2 regular size eggs. Or if you have 1 large egg, that'll be fine too. The reason why we put egg in the noodle is just the same way that I put the oil in the noodle. You don't, when you put egg in there, you want you want it to be nice and loose. Right? So you don't want the egg to cook. So immediately you want to go ahead and start stirring it up. Put a stick of butter, and in order for it to, evenly be distributed, I'm just gonna cut it out like that. A lot of people just throw the stick in there and let it melt, but if you want it to melt faster, just do it in increments. I mean, it'll make it better. Put your butter in there. Right? So we got that butter. All right, now that we got that, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little salt. Salt. That should be good. Not too much. The next thing we're gonna do is put some black pepper. Black pepper, yeah. Should be good. Mix that up a little bit. My favorite part, Creole seasoning. Listen, this seasoning works miracles. I'm gonna go ahead and put my favorite seasoning in there. Listen, this is gonna make a big difference in your macaroni and cheese. The reason why I season my macaroni and cheese is because you don't want macaroni and macaroni. You want your macaroni and cheese to be flavorful. It's nothing like having macaroni and cheese that do not taste nothing but pasta and cheese, literally pasta and cheese, and everybody know that that is disgusting. It's no flavor. Say that for okay. So after I mix that up, I am going to put just a teeny pinch of garlic salt. Teeny, not too much. I am also going to put a little teeny bit, pretty much I'm re-seasoning again. Re-seasoning. Just a teeny bit. Just a little bit, not too much. Just mix it up. Oh yeah, this is going to be really good. I can just smell like the aroma, like if you could just smell, it is amazing. I'm loving it. So you want to make sure you season your macaroni so it'll have flavor, right? So now that we have all those ingredients in there, we're going to switch over here to our roux, our cheese sauce. So I'm just going to go ahead and check on it. And you see how to put all the cheese in there? Look at that. Oh my, look at, now won't you look at that. Now this is going to be some macaroni and cheese. If your cheese ain't dripping like this, you ain't got no macaroni and cheese. So what we want is an even consistency. You see all that milk that's in there? You want to keep stirring it until it comes to like an even cheese sauce, okay? So we're gonna let it boil a little bit more. We're gonna let it sit in here. Well, you guys, look like our cheese sauce is nice and ready. Look at that. Oh, that is amazing. Everything is an even consistency. Everything looks really good. Just gonna give it a quick little stir. All right, this is what you want it to look like. What you want it to look like, just like that. Yep. Now I'm gonna go ahead and bring you over here on this side, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pour that all in that macaroni. Oh my gosh, look at that. All the cheeses, all the flavors, everything. Let's go ahead and pour all of that, let all of that get in there. Right? So after you got all of that, you want to get some sour cream. I know you're like, why are you putting sour cream? Listen, sour cream does amazing work inside of macaroni and cheese. A lot of people use heavy cream and buttermilk and pet milk, carnation. It's pretty much all the same. But when you have sour cream, it does something to the consistency that evaporated milk doesn't have. So I'm going to go ahead and put that sour cream in there. I'm telling y'all do this, they're going to be asking you, what the hell did you put in that macaroni and cheese? Other than the seasonings. Alright, so I'm not going to put all of it in there. I'm just going to get a nice 2 big spoons of that. I'm going to close that up. And we're going to let that marinate. Oh my goodness. Look at that. I'm telling y'all, this is going to be amazing. And let that get all in there. Everywhere. Alright. After you get that, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a little bit more cheese inside. So I'm going to put some more mild cheddar. And the reason why I'm doing this is because when you bite into the macaroni and cheese, you don't just want the cheese on top. You want the cheese in the mix of the macaroni and cheese, in between, in all the nooks and crannies. Alright, I'm going to put some extra sharp. Alright. That's it. Alright. Now let that get all up in there. And another thing, a lot of people use cream cheese. I'm gonna tell you why I don't use cream cheese. The reason why I don't use cream cheese is, it tastes really good when you eat it. However, sometimes the cream cheese don't melt how you want it to melt. And what happens is when you bite into the macaroni and cheese, you still have pieces of cream cheese that's not cooked. And having too much of that kind of upsets your stomach. So I don't use, and that's why I use sour cream, because sour cream will melt. Cream cheese won't. So a lot of people use cream cheese, but you know, everybody, you know, do what they do. And it's really good, but it makes you not want to get more and more of the macaroni and cheese. After that first one, you be done. You know what I'm saying? but the sour cream is not as dense as the cream cheese. So that's another reason why I use that. Okay. So now that I got all of that in, what I'm going to do, I told y'all this is my favorite season. I'm going to go back in with a layer of Creole seasoning. And after that, pretty much you guys, it is done. Okay? It is done. Put a little bit more. I'm sorry, I get allergies when I start seasoning. I don't know, it just goes straight through my nose and I start sneezing. Okay, so after that, what I'm gonna do, we're just gonna go ahead and layer the macaroni and cheese. And listen, I'm kind of old school when it comes down to this. I like my macaroni and cheese layered with cheese on top. It just looks really, really southern. You know what I'm saying? That's the southern way. So I'm gonna make sure I pack some cheese on top. Now what you don't want to do is put too much cheese on top, because what's gonna happen is not gonna, like, the top layer will be so packed full of cheese that the inside won't be as cooked. So we want to put a nice even layer of cheese on top, you know, just enough to cover the noodles, right? And yeah, I know I like my Kobe Jack, so I'm gonna put my Kobe Jack on top. It makes it look really, really pretty. And the different combinations of cheese really will make a difference to your macaroni and cheese. I'm telling y'all. Alright? And it may get a little bit messy, but you know, as long as you clean it up afterwards. Alright? I think that's just enough. And remember, I saved that last piece of cheese. So I'm going to put a little bit of that Kobe Jack on top, because, listen, that Kobe Jack is amazing. I like that buttery, flavory, cheesy, oily flavor that Kobe Jack cheese. That's the secret ingredient. If you don't put no cheese, no other cheese, make sure you get that Kobe Jack. That Kobe Jack is the cheese that's going to give you that buttery flavor. Alright, you guys, that's the macaroni and cheese, and we'll go ahead and put that in the oven and let that cook, let it bake. Probably give it a good, I would say 20 minutes. You want it to be nice and golden brown on the top. As soon as you see it golden brown, you take it out. Another way to see is if you stick a fork in it and then it comes out really moist and gooey and kind of loose, that means it's not done. You want it to be nice and consistent with the texture. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in the oven, and I'll see you guys later. And listen, when you put your macaroni and cheese inside the oven, you want to put it on the top rack. Do not put your macaroni and cheese on the bottom rack. You will burn your macaroni. Okay, just FYI. Just like I'm burning this rice right here while I'm talking to y'all. Do not burn your macaroni and cheese. Alright, you guys, the macaroni and cheese is actually done. And oh my gosh, I just want y'all to see this. Look how cheesy and golden brown that looks. Doesn't that look amazing? Listen, you guys, this macaroni and cheese is about to be awesome. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and close that oven. And the last thing I'm going to do, y'all know my favorite seasoning. Say it with me. Creole seasoning. Creole seasoning. Yes. I'm going to put that on. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on top, because it's going to give that lasting impression that I need, so I can have it in every bite. Not too much, but just enough on the top to sprinkle on top. You just want to sprinkle a little bit on top. And listen, I'm going to let that cool off a little bit, and then we're going to dig up in it. Like, oh my gosh. Alright, you guys, here's the macaroni and cheese. It is done. It is finished. So I'm going to go ahead and dig up in here. Oh my gosh, do y'all hear that? The edge. Ooh, y'all hear the crust, the crispiness? Ooh, look at that. Wow, look at that cheese. Look at that. And that is some macaroni and cheese. Look at all that cheese up in there. that's what you want. Look at that. Ooh. That's what you want. Alright, well that's it, y'all. Well, you guys, that's all for today. Thank you for coming to Janae's Kitchen. Make sure you like and subscribe down below. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much, and catch me next time. Bye.